Yeah! Thanks for watching the #1 podcast in the community. I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And together, what are we?
We are Road
Road
Break.
Break! How's every single one of you today, this morning? A little later than usual, but that happens because we were actually at the event, Elimination Chamber 2020. Today is March 9th of that year, and we're here to cover every single thing about the show. Jean-Paul, we had moments of fun, we had moments of absolute frustration, because not only for the show, but we want to mention first and foremost, like the people that were right next to us, like where we were sitting down at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, like the one thing I just want to ask, all the WWE fans in the WWE universe. I just want to say, when you guys go to a show, do you go to a show just to watch 30% of the show and the rest of the time you're just exercising up and down the aisles, buying overpriced merch that you could get cheaper on, their shop, or cheaper on literally anywhere else, eBay, wherever. Because so many times people are just walking up and down the aisles and standing in the aisles while a big movie's going on in the ring, and they're like, so, and they stand in the aisle, and then us people sitting in our seats, we can't even see.
And they're blocking everything. So we want to ask the WWE universe, not the Road Break family, because the Road Break family we know is legit. We know that they're like the greatest family in the world. But like the WWE universe, can you please just, instead of using this as just a come and go situation, pay attention to the event. Don't spend your hard money if you're not going to be paying attention. If you're just going to go buy beer, if you're just going to buy food, ice cream. Okay. Can we live?
Yeah. Exactly.
Can we enjoy the event? Most of we had to go over people. We just go, oh, can I see? Can I see? Oh, I'm sorry. Might as well I stay home then.
Yeah. But I mean, besides all that, it was I don't regret going. It was a great experience. The main event was a little bullshit. We'll get into that when we get into it. Yes. But everything else, I thought it was a good show. It was what I expected. There was no, heavyweight champion. There was no Brock Lesnar. There was no, bullshit Goldberg. There was nobody in the main event status, so to say. We didn't see the SmackDown Women's title, but, a lot of the matches that were on there were really legit. Some were better than I thought they'd be. Some were worse than I thought they would be. But, like we said, still a great show, and don't regret going.
Like Jean-Paul is saying, it was a decent show. Of course, I will never regret to go to these shows. We got to see The Undertaker. We will go over everything. And of course, we're gonna mention that the women's match turned out to be the women's elimination chamber match is probably the worst elimination chamber match of all time. That's the one thing that everybody got disappointed. I don't think why WWE will go those kind of routes just to make Shayna basically look invincible. And so we're gonna go over everything. Before, always, thank you so much for watching the videos. You know where we are, and we're gonna get right to it, Jean-Paul. 6:15, WWE sends a tweet and says, oh, for the pre-show, we're going to have the Viking Raiders against Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, So you tell us, what are we thinking when we see that tweet?
Yeah, so, like we said in the previews and predictions, we thought it would maybe be, the United States Championship, or maybe it would be, which I'm glad that got on the actual card and not on the pre-show. Or we thought, oh, Bryan and Gulak, because, that's not for a title that was thrown together in a couple weeks, not even, 2-3 weeks. And then it was this match. So we're like, oh, okay, Viking Experience and done. And what did we see? Viking Experience or Thor's Hammer and done.
And done. We got to see Thor's Hammer and done. Did we think that Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were going to pull the upset? No.
No, and that's the one thing, though, but these guys, they're not legit. I shouldn't say they're not legit. They're not going to give you a 5-star match, but they're good enough in the sense where you can build them in a tag team division. Like I told you, Kurt Hawkins, he trained Chris Statlander. He trained MJF. The guy knows what he's doing. Zack Ryder's not bad. Actually have a tag team division on Raw instead of just 2 tag teams. But, I've been saying that for weeks. But they're Yeah, they don't use these legit teams. They're like, whatever.
So yeah, that's what happened. That was for pre-show. So now we're gonna go into the main show, and the main show opened up with Philadelphia's own Drew Gulak going against Daniel Bryan, and they put on a really really good match, like almost 15 minutes, really like intense, really stiff. They went at it, and see Daniel Bryan allowed Drew Gulak tell his story as well. Because like see, that's I thought Daniel Bryan has a lot of pull when it comes to creative and the matches that he and the people that he wants to face, people that he wants to pull over, and it happened just the way we predicted. Like he's gonna make Drew Gulak look good. There was a spot that like everybody is commenting even today in the internet when Drew Gulak did a German suplex on Daniel Bryan and he landed on his neck. So it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
really scary spot. It was something that everybody was like, whoa, even the ref was checking on him. So a lot of people are saying in WWE, can you please do not make not make Daniel Bryan do this kind of spots because
Yeah,
it's
but
very dangerous.
the thing I'll say to that is Daniel Bryan. There's no way he goes out there and doesn't know that he's going to eat a German suplex like that. Look at his match he had with Brock Lesnar, the
Yes,
Survivor. I think it's Survivor Series. Look at that, where he got thrown around and how many German suplexes, and like so he knows what he's doing. And this is like he trusts Drew Gulak. That's Drew Gulak's style. He has like that really stiff, strong style. And Daniel Bryan, he trusted him enough. He went out there. I'm sure it looked like he landed on his neck and all this stuff. It was probably his shoulders, you know what I mean? And like he trusts him. They're gonna make the match look legit, and it did. And like you said, it was Bryan. He let Gulak. He had the early advantage early on. Everything Bryan tried to do, Gulak was like, no, no, no. I'm better because he was legit when it was like, oh, I scouted you. I know your weaknesses. For the first 70-80% of this match, he did. And there was a one spot I thought was cool. I think they did almost like a suplex over the ropes.
yes,
Do you remember
yes. He
that
did
to
it
the
over the
outside?
ropes. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was really cool.
that was a legit spot. That's what I mean. Lots of stiff like spots. Legit. Bryan, towards the end of the thing, he hulked up. Yes kicks, all that. It wasn't running knee and done. I don't think he actually hit the running knee.
No, no, it was just the
But
Lavelle lock. So we're gonna walk you through
yeah.
those, Jean Paul. So Gulak chops Bryan in the corner, but Bryan he rallies and flips over. He's doing his comeback, and then before delivering a running elbow, Bryan
Hmm.
delivers the yes kicks in the corner and climbs up for some punches, but Gulak crutches Daniel Bryan. Then Gulak climbs up behind Bryan and hits a reverse suplex from the top rope, and then Gulak gets Bryan into the reverse Dragon Sleeper that does the Gula lock, the
Hmm.
submission lock that he uses. But then he escapes, and then he gets then Daniel Bryan gets him in the Lavelle lock or the Yes lock again. I don't even know what the hell am I supposed to name it now.
Hmm.
Heel Lavelle, like
Yeah.
good face, yes. So he puts that, and then Drew Gulak passes out. So Daniel Bryan gets the win. We knew that was gonna happen. Jean Paul was doing yes, yes, as you can see in the video that I have for you guys. Everybody's doing yes, and so it was a good match. The Drew Gulak looks decent. He goes from like being cruiserweight champion to being a jobber in a matter of seconds. At least,
Hmm.
at least the WWE universe was able to see that he's not a jobber. He's just misused.
Yeah,
So,
and like I said, Daniel Bryan, he wasn't gonna go out there squash him in 3 minutes and done. And now he's like, hey, I'll let you look good. It's your home crowd. I respect you, and it was a great opening match.
yes,
I thought, yeah.
absolutely. So now we go to a match that we've seen again 10,000 times. I don't even know why was these matches keep taking place. And like Jean Paul predicted a Tyler switch. I predicted I think he was Almas was going to retain. So this one goes to me. United
Yeah,
States Championship match. Andrade Cien Almas with Selena Vega and guess Humberto Carrillo. So Jean Paul, your thoughts on this match?
yeah. I thought. I mean, like you said, it was good. There's no way I can say a match between these two guys won't be good. There's too much talent. There's too much chemistry. There's no way you can be like, oh, this match sucked. 1 star. But when you've seen it so many times and there was nothing new about it, we both said that there was, hopefully going to be interference. You have Mysterio and Garza come out. Zelina always interferes. There's always screwiness. And then it's like, oh, that's how Garza gets the win. Because, like we said, like if he keeps winning, the feud keeps going. So that's what it looks like they did here. Because not Garza, on Andrade won. So like Andrade won here, so the feud keeps going. You would assume, but it's like it's boring now.
Yeah,
Only because we've seen it so many times. It's not bad. It's just boring.
it's just overdone.
Yeah.
It's just overdone. It's like it's run its time. You need like you said, like the number one contender should be Garza.
Hmm.
Garza has been Carrillo like 2 times already. And one of
Yeah,
them on pay-per-view in Super
yeah.
Showdown. So
And
he should be the one getting the championship match.
I just want to know how many how many times can we see this match? Because they're not doing anything different. It's
Yes.
not like, at least when Ray and Andrade first had their feud, they would, I think like the first match they did like a Canadian Destroyer, and then that was like the first time we saw that in WWE in a while, and it was like, oh my god. And then the second match they did something different.
Yes.
Now in this match with Humberto and Andrade, it's all the same thing. The knees in the corner, the suicide dive, the arm drag off the rope, the
It's
springboard
the
arm
same
drag.
thing
It's just
all
the
the
same
time.
thing we've seen over and over, and it's like, while it's still good and impressive, it's like we've seen it, so I don't care.
Yeah, and for WrestleMania, they better like do something different, and they put Garza and Mysterio in the mix because otherwise it's a complete boring matchup. We
Hmm.
don't want to see it, so we're gonna work you through some spots like usual. Carrillo gets back in the ring, and then he dives over the referee with a tope to Andrade on the floor. Then he sends Andrade back into the ring, and he hits a flying crossbody. Like Jean Paul said, the arm drag, the crossbody is the same stuff we've seen so many times. But Andrade this time rolls him through for a near fall, and they attempt a few quick falls, and then Andrade holds the tights to score the win. So there was not even the hammerlock DDT.
Hmm.
Not really legit ending to me because when they start exchanging like pinfalls, I
Yeah,
know
you
that
knew.
at
Yeah,
some
you
point
knew.
one of them
Yeah,
is gonna like grab the ropes and everything.
yeah,
So
you knew it was done. I mean, I was hoping when it got to that sequence, I part of me, I was like, okay, Andrade's gonna win because they're not gonna have Humberto win on a roll up. So I was
yes,
hoping maybe Humberto would have the roll up, Zelina would come in and maybe, I don't know, like grab him by his hair or something, break it up, and then it causes a DQ. Like, at least, I mean, that would be a little bullshit, but at least it would be like, I don't know, something different. That the match doesn't have a clear victor. Because I say that a feud is only over when a babyface wins if the babyface is meant to win. To me, Humberto has lost too many times versus Andrade where now he's done.
yeah, like
Now we need like a new number one contender, whether that's Aleister Black or somebody else. Because to me, Humberto's done. He had too many chances. He lost too many times clean. Because a roll up is still a clean victory. That was
yeah.
still a clean win. There was no interference. Zelina did pull the mat out earlier, and it was supposed to be like, hammer lock him, but that never happened. So it wasn't like there was anything dirty. So to me, Humberto, hey man, you're talented, but you're in the United
But you
States
just know how to
Championship.
lose championship
Yeah,
matches.
in the United States Championship picture, you're out. To me, it's got
Yeah,
to be like Aleister Black or somebody like
it has
that.
to be somebody different. I agree with you. So Jean Paul, we go to the first elimination chamber match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. John Morrison and The Miz defending against the New Day, Lucha House Party, the Usos, Heavy Machinery, and Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. For what it was, I think it was pretty cool. The
Hmm.
spot with Otis was absolutely amazing. The one thing though,
Yeah,
I was really pissed when they eliminated Heavy Machinery. I think the
yeah.
whole crowd was like really into them,
Oh
and
yeah,
they were hoping for them to win. And then,
yeah. I mean,
once they
it
got
was,
out, it was
yeah,
just bad.
yeah. I mean, it was legit, like, and everything. When Lindsay Dorado, he was climbed up on top of the cage, and then he did like almost like the John Morrison spot where
Yes,
he was crawling, on the ceiling, and he
yes.
dove on everybody. That was cool. That was a legit spot, and everybody was laid out, and then except Grand Metalik, and I think it was who pinned him. I think the New Day.
No, it was Heavy Machinery.
Oh yeah,
They did
they
a
hit the
compactor.
compactor.
They
Yeah,
did a
and it
compactor.
and I was like, Lucha House, like, come, like, they do this legit spot and then done.
Yeah,
But
and that's why I was pissed because at
yeah,
least they look semi decent
yeah,
because you know how talented they are.
yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I mean, it was legit up until that point, and I do like how they had every team out. It wasn't like, they pinned people before, because I like when all. I mean, that's a lot of guys, 12 guys in there, but I like when everybody's out. I don't like when it's like, oh, like how Brock Lesnar did the Royal Rumble, how
Yes.
he eliminates a guy, eliminates a guy, eliminates a guy. I like when there's a bunch of bodies in there, a bunch of people beating each other up. So that was cool to see that spot. I want to say early on, but it really wasn't that early on. But once early on when everyone was out, it was cool to see the Lucha House Party. They got a little bit of offense and they look good, but nothing will
Yeah, they,
happen
they
with that.
look they looks like good enough,
Yeah.
and then of course we saw the Usos, we saw the Samoan Drive, we saw the super kicks because that's what if we say something about the Young Bucks, we can say the same thing about the Usos. It's a super kick fiesta, and then of course there was the spot with Otis when he was going and he was going to go through the pod, and then he ends up going through the whole thing.
Yeah, I think he went to charge Dolph Ziggler or Dolph
Yes,
Ziggler. I think was in there, and he flew out, and he like that. So he was out then. He shot right through the pod, like the plexiglass, door, window,
that
whatever
was
you want to
awesome
call it.
though. It knew
So
that
he was laying on
where
the
was like
outside.
we were
Yeah,
like watching, like it felt so good. It felt like
yeah,
really really great.
yeah. And then so he landed there, and then I think then because the heavy machinery was the second team eliminated. So
Yes,
then Tucky, he saw that Otis was done, and he went into like Super Saiyan Hulk mode. He was like knocking everybody out, but then the numbers got too much, and I think he had a super kick and then glorious DDT
yes,
and done.
yeah. Glorious DDT goes famous sir, and then he
Oh,
goes for
famous,
super
sir.
kick.
Yep.
Glorious DDT. Heavy machinery gets out, but before that, Tucky did also like a cannonball on top of the pod, and then
Yeah,
darted
yeah,
everybody else. So that was a really good spot also.
yeah.
And
Legit.
everybody was like just upset that like Otis like was like eliminated, like they carry him with the officials, with the medical staff, and everybody else. So like we all wanted the
Yeah,
heavy
yeah.
machinery here to win.
But yeah, and to me though, like I said to you, on SmackDown, for me, they got to win at Mania. If you're gonna do a belt change or something, give it to these guys at Mania. Give them that moment. And like we said, I didn't think that they had faith in the Miz and Morrison. I thought they were buying in on this Mandy Rose Dolph Ziggler storyline.
Hmm.
So that's why I thought the title change was going to be here. But as soon as Heavy Machinery was done, I feel like the Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler were done soon after.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I was like, there goes my pick. So then I immediately jumped on your bandwagon, and I was like, I need the Miz and Morrison to retain because the New Day and the Usos are legit talent wise, but we've seen them way too
Again,
much.
way too many times. So like you said, like the Usos actually eliminated Bobby Roode and Dolph
Yeah,
Ziggler because they did the
they did
splash.
the Uso splash. Was that
Yeah, the
off the
Usos splash.
pods? I think that was off the pods, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was off the pods, and then like that's how they got the win. So then we have Usos, New Day, Miz, and Morrison. So
Hmm.
then the New Day gets eliminated, but it gets eliminated by Miz and Morrison because both of them landed on coffee.
Yeah,
They were pinning him one on top of the other on coffee because they did like he did the he did the skull crashing finale, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
also
yeah.
like they were pinning him like that,
Yeah,
and
like
New Day
both of
gets
them were pushing
eliminated.
him
Big
down.
E was already out, and then we get Miz and Morrison and the Usos. So that was like, oh my god, if the Usos are gonna win, like, come on. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. But like I told you, Jean Paul, the Miz and Morrison cannot lose these championships. So thank God they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like a legit match, like we said, but it came down to those three teams, and it's like sweat, and you're like, oh my god, please no. And then
Yes.
the Big E and Kofi are done, and it's like okay. When then the Usos were looking good, I think they kicked out of a Starship Pain, or they broke the
No,
pin.
no, they like the uh, Jay. I think saved Jimmy from
Yeah,
it.
that's
He
yeah,
dove
like
and
they
he
broke
stopped
the
the
pin.
count. He
Yeah,
stopped the pin. Yeah.
yeah. And
So
once
we're going.
that it was that, I was like, oh my god, it's
It's
done. But
done. Yes. So we were like, okay, no. So Miz gets Jimmy in the figure four, and then Morrison hits him with the Starship Pain. Like that spot that we were saying, and then Jay breaks it up. Jay super kicks the Miz, and then Morrison goes for a near fall. Miz hits the sunset flip on more, and Morrison dives over as well to double the pin, and then Miz puts his feet on the ropes for the win. So that was a sunset flip, and then both of them were helping each other out, and that's
yeah,
how they get the
but
win.
there it
Everything.
was a little bullshit. Like I wish the ref was at a different angle because like Morrison had him like you said in the sunset flip, I think, and then the Miz was kind of like on top and like holding his feet on the ropes, and all the ref had to do was like if he's looking here, just like look like that, and he sees the Miz is on the ropes, and he's like, bro, what are you doing? So the ref was in
Of
like
course, they gotta
yeah,
play stupid. They
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
play
yeah.
like you gotta play, of course, the dumb rep that those don't see those things. And I'm
Be-
like, you can always
because
go and replay the thing, and
yeah,
you'll see.
because when they did that, I was like, oh, the ref's gonna stop at two and like point and be like, no, 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 and I'm like, oh my god, the Usos are gonna win. I'm like, come on, but then the ref 1, 2, 3, and I popped. I was like,
We were
legit,
happy. We were
yeah,
happy. You can see right there. Like we were happy. We were having a good time, and we were happy that like the Miz and Morrison retained. And we like I said, we predicted that, so we were happy. So now, Jean Paul, we're gonna go to no disqualification match. Aleister Black, AJ Styles, and joined by the OC. And Jean
hmm
Paul, like he kept saying to me, "I hear Taker. I hear Taker. I'm here for Taker. There's rumors of Taker." I'm like, no, there's not gonna be a Taker. No, I didn't hear anything. So no Takers. Like, just relax. Just wait.
yeah, because I was like,
Don't sweat.
I didn't get Mysterio. I didn't get Mandy Rose, at the Elimination Chamber for the tag
Presley
team.
Squeeze. Presley
Yeah, yeah,
Squeeze.
we didn't get Orange Cassidy for one. I guess he thought he'd make an appearance.
I know.
The
But
rival company, I don't understand, but hey.
I thought it was Presley Squeeze, dude.
But
Anyway.
but I was like, they're not gonna let us down with Taker, and you got Taker chance early on in this thing too.
Yes, yes. Yes,
People knew,
I will tell you though, is because see, like the I guess the build up for this pay per view, you only had 2 weeks to build this up because you
uh,
had Super Showdown, so you had 2 weeks to put all this thing together, and it felt like at moments wasn't necessary. It's like you just have that in your calendar, so you just gotta do it, and you don't care how the outcome is gonna be.
yeah,
So
do you
like
know?
these
Yeah,
matches felt like like rushed. They felt like they're barely build up. It felt
mhm,
like they didn't want to do it, but they were
yeah,
there.
exactly. And a lot, like you said, it was rematches and stuff that we've seen before, matches we've seen at Super Showdown. When you see the Street Profits and Seth Rollins, at Super Showdown and stuff, you're like, oh, okay, like whatever. And then you see Andrade and Humberto, we've seen them how many times, and it's like, okay, like none of the matches were really that fresh on this pay per view.
Yes.
And that
Yes.
they didn't save AJ Styles and Aleister Black. We kind of saw it on Monday Night Raw, which it wasn't a legit match because he had to fight Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson first. But it's like we still kind of seen it before. Like that's a match you save and you build up for a pay per view, not build up in like 2 weeks, like you
Oh
said.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And but see, this time at least they won. They
Hmm.
won. They had a good match. They did everything that we are used to see them do. And also they used candlesticks. They put on
Hmm.
the table and they used the chair. So because it was a no DQ, so you could see the use of toys and the usage of. I really appreciate that. So
Oh
and
yeah.
from where we were looking, watching the pay per view, it felt like some like the candlestick shots. They sounded really good.
Oh yeah. I think Aleister Black towards the end of this, he like parts of the kendo stick were flying off when he was whacking AJ with it.
Yeah. So
And it was legit. And some of the spots when they fought to the outside, they had a table set up, and then he did a diving meteora on AJ Styles through the
yes,
table. So
yes.
that was legit. Tons of great spots.
Uh, it was very good. Like they kept it for what it was. It was probably one of my favorite matches of the night
Hmm.
because the crowd was actually digging into it. They were all excited about it. So we're gonna go through the whole sequence of the end because at the end we got to see the Undertaker. So that's pretty great. It was pretty legit, and John Paul, and then it's like, oh, I'm just looking to the Titantron because I'm waiting for the and there at some point I'm like, there's not gonna be on. I'm not gonna see Taker, and I was completely wrong. So Jean Paul gets the win on this one. So Black Legs is hurting, but he gets AJ back in the ring. Black gets in the ring and slowly leaves AJ with his boot, but Gallows and Anderson run in because he was trying to set for the Black Mass, and then only to get dropped with kicks. Then Black gets surrounded by a beatdown of all 3 members of the OC, Gallows and Anderson, and they also hit the Magic Killer. And then everybody's like, take her, take her, take her. Then AJ goes to the apron and prepares for the phenomenal forearm, but then the lights go out and we
Hmm.
hear all familiar. Um, and then
Um,
the lights come up, and then the Undertaker has both Gallows and Anderson by the throat, and then AJ jams him. So he was trying to do the phenomenal forearm, but then Taker grabs him, and he does kind of like a sloppy chokeslam. And then the lights they go back out, and then Taker's gone. So one move and done. And
yep.
then he
And
gets paid probably like $100,000 for that.
the one thing that's funny whenever you're at these shows, and because he didn't like appear on the ramp and all that stuff, is you just seen the lights go out. Yeah, I immediately look and I just see him roll out from under the ring.
Yeah,
Like it's just funny. It's just like how long, like we said, maybe they have something in like in a basement and he can walk and like I don't know how that works. Like almost like you climb up there or something. Maybe there's like a secret trap door.
yeah.
Otherwise, it was like how long was he under this ring?
Oh yeah, like
You
it
know
was
what I
like
mean? Like
he's probably waiting for his cues. Like it's your time.
yeah,
They're
like
like
wake up, wake up. Oh, okay.
They're like time, and then last sequence, of course, AJ's looking so groggy, ready for a finisher. So Aleister Black hits the Black Mass. 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black gets the win. So probably tonight on Monday Night Raw, AJ's gonna challenge the Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania 36. Match will become official. And thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. No, we're gonna keep going.
The one
Guys,
thing I will say about like I mean this match was super legit. I'd love to see these two go at it again in a like a clean, 15, 20, 25-minute contest. No like heel tactics from AJ, just like a legit match, no interference from the outside. So I hope that they do revisit this, feud sometime down the line. It was a shame that they just used it to set up the Undertaker, though, because as legit as the Undertaker is, his character and everything he's done, the match between these two would be a lot better than a match between AJ and the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, yeah, by
So
far.
like, yeah, so to me this is the match that like I would love to see, but like at
I
WrestleMania, but I
absolutely
mean,
agree with you. Like,
yeah,
yeah, you
and
don't need this kind of,
yeah,
you don't need Aleister Black to come out with the Undertaker.
yeah,
No,
and the only
it doesn't
reason,
make
and
sense.
yeah, the only thing is because what do you do at WrestleMania? You have like, to me, the only thing you can do is have AJ Styles win. What does the Undertaker gain from winning against
Yeah.
AJ Styles?
Well, unless they put him on a on a championship feud with somebody, because if Goldberg's champion, I'll keep loving for the Undertaker. But I don't know. Yeah, you said probably Age is gonna win and maybe Taker's gonna retire. We don't
Yeah,
ever know, because like there's like news that like he signed for 20 more WrestleManias. There's rumors like that. I'm like, it doesn't sound far from the truth, because like he keeps coming back. He's like, it should be done, and
yeah,
it
I
didn't
don't.
work
Yeah,
out
I
for
mean,
me.
I don't like I said, there's no point for him to win.
Yeah.
It's like
What do you get from
done.
winning? Unless Sting comes out, do something on a long run booking. So, Mr. Egg, we go to like Road Tag Team Championship match. Your favorite ones, the Street Profits, going against the Monday Night Messiah and Murphy. So this like the crowd received really well the Street Profits. See,
Hmm.
they're alive. They're over with the crowd. They love him. Dan 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 dan. Dan. Everybody wants to smoke, and it's not
Hmm.
a blunt. Matt Riddle, no, it's just no, it's not that. It's Street Profits. So they came out, brand new tag team champions. Like we said, I kind of predicted that they need to do a title switch. This time it didn't happen. Just for me, I feel that like Rollins and Murphy, they needed the championships, but clearly WWE doesn't think that way.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I was happy that the Street Profits had it. You know what I said before? It was obvious because it was like a now or never chance for them to win it. So you knew that they were going to win. But I thought, because to me, like, I don't know how you felt. I always felt like AOP should have been the one with the tag team belts in the
Yes,
Monday Night Messiah's group. So to me, I was like, okay, that's good. You get it off Rollins and Murphy. You put it back on a baby face. Now I think the Viking Raiders need to win it at some point. Whether that just happens on Raw or whether that happens at WrestleMania, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I think AOP needs the Raw Tag Team Championships, and they can go on a run and then eventually have a legit feud with the Viking Raiders or whoever. But
exactly. Like so, like you said, I don't know what the feud is gonna be, but today we're gonna find out a lot of things, because
hmm
clearly today is when the WrestleMania build-up really starts,
yep,
because you have like a little bit, like almost like a month to build this whole thing. You have a
hmm
few matches yet, but you gotta start building everything else that's gonna like end up being the whole card. So we'll see what happens. We saw Kevin Owens, so
hmm
maybe Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins will be the match at WrestleMania. And then we don't know what, like maybe like Murphy. I don't know what he's gonna do, or maybe he's gonna be at Seth Rollins' corner, and then maybe
yeah,
Samoa Joe will come back. So let's go to some spots like usual. Seth attempted the stomp, but nobody's home, and Murphy tags in. Then Rollins and Murphy hit the buckle bomb Inzaguri, followed by a Meteora from Murphy for a near fall. Rollins attempts a suicide dive by Dawkins. He gets caught, and he hits a T-bone suplex on the floor. Really nice spot. Like I said, these guys, they put on a really great match. Murphy goes on top, but Ford punches him, and then he climbs up alongside Dawkins. But Rollins comes back, and of course they have to do that spot with the powerbomb. They always do those spots, kind of like overdone. And then while they're superplex Murphy, and everybody's down, like I said. They always do the same spots all the time. We get to see KO. KO comes out, he comes to the crowd, not
yeah,
our
like
side. Yeah,
Gian.
he
No, no,
cannot,
yeah,
not our
but
side, so we were kind of
yeah,
upset because he comes out through the other side. So, and then he has a bag of popcorn, and then he comes to the barricade, he climbs over, and he sits on the announce table near Rollins. So KO throws popcorn at Seth Rollins, and then he gets distracted. So then Dawkins comes from behind with a huge tackle to Rollins into the barricade, and then Murphy then dubs over the ropes onto the Profits, but he gets caught on and tossed into the barricade. Back in the ring, then Dawkins hits a splash, followed by the frog splash, and then they get the win. So, of course, like the Street Profits retain, good match, and I think like KO showing up, I think, is legit because even like
Mm.
you were saying, when the AOP were there, because the AOP came out with
Yeah,
Rollins
yeah,
and
yeah,
Murphy,
yeah,
they were
yeah,
looking
right.
for him. They were
Yeah.
lifting the,
Yeah, right,
the
right at the start of the match. Yeah, like they were lifting the ring apron, looking underneath, like, where is this guy? Where is he? And well, like you said, once they did that, it was kind of like you could smell it in the air. You're like, I think Kevin Owens is gonna be showing up.
yes,
And like you said, it was legit because he came out with the popcorn, almost like a fan. But then he did
yes,
hop the barricade, so you knew it was like, oh, okay, he's not just gonna sit at ringside, whatever. He
nope.
hopped the barricade, and I do like, at the end of this thing when he left, they even, they played his music and stuff. That was like whatever. I wouldn't have played his music just because I'm like, dude, you're not even involved in this match. But
Yes,
they play it for the crowd and stuff. And I love Murphy's laying there, and he walks past Murphy and just dumps his popcorn
that's the
bag
whole
on.
thing with the popcorn. Yes, and
Yeah,
like,
so
see,
that
for the
was
guys that like
legit.
are asking like, where was the AOP and all of this? Well, the Viking Raiders came out and
Yep.
they end up like chasing, taking the AOP out. So that's how like they were like deleted from this equation. But it was really cool. Yep, it was really cool. We
Delete.
got like a really enjoyable match, and like you said, I really enjoyed this spot with like the popcorn and everything.
Yeah.
So it was cool. And
Yeah.
the
And
one thing, like you said, I wouldn't like when they play his music because it's like, okay, so you go from the crowd and then you get into the gorilla position. I'm like,
yeah.
shouldn't you just go up and then have like your seat somewhere over there?
Yeah. So,
So
but I mean, yeah, it was legit, and I'm happy with the Street Profits to win because, like I said, I wanted them to win. I don't like the hot potato title reign, so I'm happy they retained. I'm happy Miz and Morrison retained. For both those teams because I was scared both those teams just won the titles and then they were going to lose them immediately.
that's right. So
So
the Mr. Egg, the one match that we did pop, and like we all thought it was going to be done from the beginning, but hopefully, thankfully, actually, we had a great, I would say, a Swerve Scott, Isaiah Swerve Scott,
mhm.
because we have somebody that has never held a title in WWE main roster as a new Intercontinental Champion. Sami Zayn, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura going against Braun Strowman, 3-1 handicap match, IC Bell. We got a brand new champion, so it was legit.
Yeah,
Because even everybody, when Strowman came out, they were all booing. Because, that his character is dead. We
yeah,
don't
his
like
character.
that.
He's not. Like we said, he's three moves and done. I literally remember like yelling to the crowd, like yelling, because when you're there, you got to get excited, get into it. It was like all this guy is a shoulder tackle. I think he
Yeah.
did like five shoulder tackles in a row. I'm like, do another
When he
move.
went like this, then we were like, oh
Oh my
my
god! And
god.
the crowd's even going like they want him to do it, and like some people, that I won't call them names, but the bullshit marks, they were the ones who were like, duh, and we're like, no, it's duh.
Yeah, exactly. So at least they put on a decent match. Sami Zayn was like tagging the whole story is that he's running away from Strowman. He barely like feud with Strowman. Like Cesaro and Nakamura were the ones actually feuding with him, like having the match. And Sami Zayn, in the end, he's the one that gets the pin and everything. So that was a different story. So to me, WrestleMania is probably going to be Sami Zayn by himself going against Strowman a rematch.
Oh no,
Which is
yeah,
going to be boring. I would
see,
like,
I
like
think
example, I'd rather your idea is so much better to have
uh,
the three of them feuding.
that's
Cesaro, Nakamura, and Sami Zayn.
And that's what I seen a lot of people were saying online because they're like, okay, for all the NXT marks out there, Sami Zayn had so many legit matches. Neville, all these guys, but
Cesaro.
his two legit matches, claim to fame, are against Cesaro and Nakamura. So you could do both of those guys in a triple threat, and if you give those guys 15, 20 minutes, that will be the best match of the night.
It
If,
could be.
if you don't now, but see that's the thing. You could give them 15 minutes and they could do a freaking headlock for 15 minutes and it could be bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
If you give these guys 15 minutes and you give them a blank piece of paper and you say go out and do what you want. We're not going to type up what we want you to do, what you should do. That's the problem that there's so much talent but they're so produced. They're written for. They don't let these guys go out there and do what they can do.
Yes.
But I think
Yes.
if you let these three guys, because you got to book them in a triple threat.
It
You
will
know
be it
that.
will be legit. I will really enjoy that.
Mm.
So let's go through like the spots of the night. Nakamura returns and he goes and stomps Braun Strowman. Then they toss Braun into the steel steps. Then back in the ring, and Nakamura hits the Kinshasa for a near fall. We were like, oh my god, gonna be power slamming done. But thankfully,
Yeah,
Cesaro comes in and sends Strowman into the ring post twice. Then he distracts the referee, so Nakamura can hit the Kinshasa once again and into the ring post. and then Nakamura and Cesaro, they lift Braun Strowman up into like a suplex position, but then Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick for the win.
Mm-hmm.
When he pinned him, I was 1, 2, 3. I was like, oh my god, like what the
Yeah.
hell? It was like
Yeah,
a
and it was
beautiful
legit.
surprise.
Yeah, it
That's what
was
I will call it.
because, like I said, I had a feeling. I was like, Braun Strowman, they love him. He's big with the kids, and WWE's all about that marketing for the children and this and that. Clearly, because they don't write an intelligent product, and so I was scared that I thought Strowman was going to win. He's going to retain. But then I was like, there's no way. There's no way. I don't care how much they hate their talent. There's no way they're going to job out 3 people like this to Braun Strowman. There's no way. And I'm happy that they listened. They're like, Jean Paul won. You guys are legit. We're not going to job out 3 people. And we're like, thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you.
They're like, we know rope break is going to be there. We don't want it to be bullshit. And, they did the right thing. And I saw a tweet from Kevin Owens. He had this nice tweet. He's like, oh, Sami Zayn. For me to just paraphrase using rope break lingo, he's like, oh, you're legit. This is awesome. I'm glad that, you finally have a title. He's like, it's long overdue and all this other stuff. And it's cool. And the one thing, like, you see a lot of people are like, oh, Sami Zayn won. Sami Zayn won. So they're not saying, like, the team of Sami Zayn, Nakamura, and Cesaro. Because technically they were, like, a team.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a free-for-all. But people are saying Sami Zayn is the winner, so I think that's what's going to start the feud. You're going to have guys, people like, what do you mean Sami Zayn won? They're like, if it wasn't for us holding up Strowman in that, like, suplex position, you would have never hit the haluva kick, and, it wouldn't have been done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I think that's where they're going to
agree
start the feud. But, like, it was legit to see all 3 of those guys. They all had their, like, arms around each other. Sami's holding up the belt. That was, like, real legit moment. And just, like, the look on his face, he was, like, he was so happy and shocked. Finally have a belt. It was a bullshit way for him to win it in the sense that he had to win his first gold in a handicap match where he was the one who had the advantage. But, it's still, he has gold. He's in the record books, and he deserves it.
Exactly. So now we're going to go, like we said, don't job 3 people, but you can bury, and you can job like 5 women.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Women's main event, women's elimination chamber match. Winner faces Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Shayna Baszler, Natalya, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, Sarah Lowen, and
my girl Asuka.
Yep. And what happened, Jean Paul?
It was bullshit. It was
10
bullshit.
minutes and done.
Yeah. So who started this thing? Natalya and
it was Natalya and Ruby Riott.
And Ruby Riott, yeah.
They had decent spots. They were going at it.
Yeah, and like you said, like we're fans of Natalya. They treat her like absolute bullshit. I don't know if this is because Vince hates Brett, and he's like, yeah, I have no problem with Anvil, but who the hell's Anvil? To Vince McMahon, and he's like, I remember Bret Hart. Brett screwed Brett or whatever. And Vince is, I don't care what anybody says. I feel like he's a bitter person in the sense where he holds grudges, and he's like, you screwed me over, you're done. And, Brett screwed him over. So Natalya has never looked legit. There's moments where she looks legit. She has championship wins, but she doesn't have good title reigns. She doesn't, you know what I mean? It's like they treat her like crap, and she's so talented. And Ruby Riott, she comes back, and that was your sleeper pick.
Yeah.
And to me, like, besides Asuka, because Asuka would have been a legit match, Ruby was my second sleeper pick because I'm like, you need to do something with her. She's coming back from injury. She's been out how long? Like almost a year, if not longer. It's a long time. And it was like she comes back, and this is her first major match, major role. She had the match on Raw. That was a quick count with Sarah Logan as the ref, so I don't even really count that. And she was done.
Yep.
Liv
pretty much.
Yeah,
that's
they
how
were
the
all
sequence
done.
went. Yeah, they're like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, go ahead and talk, but to me, it was just everything was just done. It was done. It was like, oh, here's this person, and done.
Yeah, because that's what happened. Because Natalya and Ruby Riott, they were feuding, and then Sarah Lowen came. That was the third one, and then there were the 3 of them were putting something decent there. A few nice spots with the pod and everything.
Yeah,
the padding, suplexes and stuff. But then number 4, Shayna Baszler, and then she starts like choking everybody with a Kira Fura clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Then he started with Sarah Logan. Boom, 2 minutes, done, gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ruby Riott, Kira Fura clutch, done, boom. Then Natalya. Then actually she was really like stiff with Natalya because she was using like the door like from the pod. Yeah. She kept going with it. And then another Kira Fura clutch, done.
Yeah, let me tell you how I would have booked this thing if you want Shane to come out number 4. Because this is one thing we didn't even see. What are the main the story selling points of this? Not if you exclude Becky Lynch from the whole equation. You had Natalia and Asuka had a little bit of heat. There was no interaction between them at all. That was supposed to see. We're supposed to see a little bit of interaction between them, and there was nothing. The whole Riot Squad. The whole Riot Squad didn't even interact in this pod because Ruby Riot and
Liv Morgan.
and Sarah Logan were done before Liv Morgan even came out. So there was no interaction between the 3 Riot Squad members. And then Asuka and Shayna had some interaction, and they closed it. They were the last 2 who went at it, but their thing was only maybe a minute, 2 minutes long, and then done. Same thing.
Yep.
So we didn't get any of the stories that we were supposed to get in this chamber. It was like they just wanted to end the show. They're like, Shayna, just choke them all out and be done.
Yep.
And I would have booked it where Shayna comes out, and then maybe, she goes after Natalia first, and Natalia's the first person she chokes out. Then Liv Morgan, comes out of the pod, and then you have the 3 Riot Squad members. They look at each other and they're like, "Oh shit, Shayna just like killed Natalia." So they're like, the 3 of us team up to take her on, and then that way they stall until Asuka comes out, and then you could do something where you have then those 5 women go at it instead of Shayna just choking everybody out. And then, like we said, we had to sit there awkwardly for like 4 minutes until Liv Morgan came out. She beat Liv Morgan, had a little bit of offense, but it was then done. And then we had to sit there for another 3.5, 4 minutes for Asuka to come out, and it was just awkward. The crowd was booing. Like we said,
Boring.
boring. CM Punk
CM
chants,
Punk. Yep.
AEW,
Yep.
everything, dude. They were pissed because they're like, "What is this? This is your main event. This match should have been legit."
Yeah, and then if you're gonna do that, like you said before, like you told me while we were there, you're like they should have Baszler win the Royal Rumble, and that way you wouldn't have to do this.
Yeah, because to me it was so obvious. Like I said, all the big neon bar signs, with the arrows, were open. All the signs are pointing to Shayna Baszler. Says, obvious winner right here. This is who's gonna win. There was never a chance for any of the other women to
Yeah,
win. Yeah,
and
it's
like you
cool to
said,
have sleeper picks. It's cool to be like, oh, well, if Ruby Riot wins, or if Asuka, or this person, that person. But there was the obvious choice, the Magic 8 Ball. The obvious choice was Shayna Baszler. I would add her win the Royal Rumble, and then you could add the Elimination Chamber be with the SmackDown women. Yeah, maybe it would have been bullshit because it's like, who is there? Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Naomi, Lacey Evans. But
but
it's
see, the
like,
winner would have been so unpredictable if
yeah,
that would have
but
been the
see, I
case.
would have put Sasha Banks in there too. And I know sometimes Sasha Banks, her personal stuff are a little like, okay, whatever. But the best match on SmackDown would have been her versus Bayley.
Yeah, it
So
would
then
have
you
been
could have had
like,
Sasha Banks win, and then Bayley would have been like, "Oh, Sasha, why are you entering? Like, what are you gonna fight me at Mania?" And she'd be like, "Oh, well, so." And then when she wins, she can be like, "Yeah, I am. I'm the legit boss." And then Bayley can be like, "What the hell?" And then start the feud or something. But
oh yeah, yeah,
instead we got for Raw, and it was just so obvious. Like to me, if anybody should have did what Roman did, it should have been Shayna. Shayna should
yeah,
have just walked up to Becky and been like, "I'm next."
yeah.
But
It would
instead,
have been a lot more sense rather than a little bit of interaction with Asuka. Asuka was kind of like what 5 more minutes that the match continued, but then
yeah,
that was it. And in
yeah,
the end,
like
everybody leaves absolutely
yeah,
unhappy, angry because the main event didn't even like deliver at all.
yeah, because like Asuka, she had the hip attack, and she, okay, got a little bit of offense in. I think she hit the Asuka lock. She
She
had that
had
in
the
for a little
Asuka log
bit.
a little bit, but then
Yeah,
Shayna flipped it.
yeah, Shayna flipped it, and then I think she got it again, but then Shayna got out, and then she hit her signature. It's almost like I don't even know what you call it, almost like that her signature she does,
The kick.
Shayna. No, no,
Oh, yeah,
no.
yeah, like the suplex. Yeah,
It's almost like a weird suplex flapjack looking like thing.
yeah,
But she hits that. She hit that. I mean, that was her only moves. She was like Braun Strowman. She comes in, signature, finisher, and done.
and done.
And
So
then yeah, once she got Asuka in the choke, I'm like, oh, maybe Asuka's gonna kick out. They're gonna give these women like 5-10 minutes, and it'll be legit, and they'll make Asuka look good. As soon as she gets Kirifuda, done.
done.
And
So
it's like, yeah, that's I mean,
terrible,
everybody like,
terrible ending.
yeah,
Terrible ending.
definitely the worst elimination chamber match if you're looking at it in the sense of because obviously, like we say, this is a written show, this is a drama, this is fiction. This is a sport. This is a fabricated sport that's written. If this was legit, like UFC or something, then you'd be like, holy shit, Shayna is dominant. Shayna just completely wiped these women out. But we know it's not a shoot fight. It's a work, and it's a work. It's a show. Give us a show. They gave us a slaughter.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
it
It
was
like
very
we didn't. They,
anticlimactic.
they
So
didn't.
no.
They didn't give us anything enjoyable in that last chamber match, and that's the one thing you don't want to do because what's the last thing people remember? People
Is the main
already
event.
forgot. Yeah, people already forgot about the legit match between Bryan and Gulak, and then the good. I mean, it was good. The match with Andrade and Humberto. They forgot about the legit. Aleister Black, AJ Styles, Taker. The crowd popped big for Kevin Owens and for Sami Zayn and all them. But by the time the main event rolled around, you forgot all that, and you
Mm.
were just so soured with how the main event went.
And Becky didn't even come out, but we
So
know that like
Becky.
now Shayna Baszler is going to be challenging Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. They have already the thing, and the
Mhm.
for the Titantron and everything. Kind of like the ending was absolutely terrible. Nothing like nothing made sense when it comes to like you don't need to make her look like so invincible at
No,
the expense of like the other five women.
especially if the unthinkable happens and Becky wins.
Yeah,
If Becky wins, and then at this point you might as well just like that the title, you might as well just screw it into like the stomach and the waist of Becky Lynch. Because who are you gonna build that's credible enough to beat her if Shayna can't beat her after Shayna just choked out five women, and in my opinion, three of them being pretty legit.
oh yeah, no, it
Yeah.
is true. It is true, Jean Paul. But that concludes our review. We were happy to be there, so
Oh yeah.
we got to say hi to a lot of people. So thank you to the ones that like came, say hi to us and all of that. And like I said, like we enjoyed the time. The main event was not so enjoyable, but everything else was. And we want to say hi to Brady Hicks. He was a radio show host of the In the Room, and we were talking to him. Good conversation with him. And Jean Paul, any closing thoughts on this?
No, I mean you pretty much covered it. Like you said, we saw some cool people there. That was legit, and the fans were good. Like we said, besides the ones who needed to get their cardio in and were running up and down the aisles and the stairs constantly. That was a little bullshit on them. I'm gonna call them out, just like I called out WWE. So I'm gonna call them out because they're part of the universe. But besides that, it was a good show. In the main event, like we said, well, it didn't. The main event killed the show for me. Everything else until then was passable or, in my opinion, legit. There was
Yeah,
nothing that I was like, really, really, because I knew Otis and them weren't going to win. It would have been cool, but it would have been bullshit for Miz and Morrison. Mostly Morrison because I'm a big Morrison fan. The Miz, But everything up until the main event, I thought was good. But the main event just it really soured it for me, which was a shame. But I don't regret going. I'd go again. I'd go to any pay per view in Philly. It's close.
that's
It's
right.
legit. And like we said, we when we watch the show, we get upset, and this is what I'm going to close it with. We watch these shows, and sometimes we get upset because it's like you're watching any sport: soccer, football, baseball, basketball. When your team loses, you get upset. That doesn't mean that you stop watching the sport altogether. So, like, your team loses, but hey, you're a fan. You're still going to keep watching it. And that's what we're going to do. Like, hey, yeah, maybe the main event didn't go the way we wanted, but, it was still enjoyable. We still love pro wrestling. So, you
That's true.
know,
So,
and, the, ro-
guys,
and it never stops, and neither
neither do we.
do
So,
we.
neither do we. So, thank you so very much for watching the video, guys. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget the bell for all notifications. We have, social media world right for all of you: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget to check us in all of those media outlets. And we will come back with more. Of course, John Paul will be right back with us for Raw Monday Night Raw review to all the outcomes, fallouts, and
Hmm.
the whole beginning of, I will say, complete WrestleMania build-up starts today. So, in the name of Jean Paul and myself, we want to say thank you, and also, uh,
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 duh.